Hi, my name is Nuria Mohamed, and this is an application for the IFRC Limitless program. Currently in Kenya, we have introduced a new education curriculum that focuses on having project-based learning activity in schools. As much as this is a good initiative, many schools, especially public schools, are not able to implement this curriculum. One of the subjects introduced within the curriculum is agriculture and environment. But due to a lack of resources, lack of adequate teacher training, and lack of creative ideas towards training, a lot of public schools are left out within the implementation of this CBC curriculum. Our idea as Watoto Go Green is to introduce climate literacy programs that are able to give students, trainers, and the community at large an opportunity to engage in creative project-based learning towards the vision. Part of our delivery mode as Watoto Go Green is still 3 primary blocks, which is educate, creative advocacy, and greening initiatives. Through this approach, we're able to see that every single child is climate ready and participates in climate green initiatives from an informed and educated point of view. Part of our primary blocks, which is educate, we're able to come up with climate literacy programs that provide theory-based learning and project-based learning to young children. We're able to take them through what exactly an environment is, what are the positive behaviors towards climate, and what are the negative behaviors towards climate change. Under our second primary block, which is creative advocacy, we take advantage of creative art as a mode of delivery to this young audience. We're able to take them through documentary screenings, painting activities, visual art, digital art, to ensure that we package the climate content education in fun, creative packages that they can understand and share with their community. Our third primary block is greening initiatives, and this is whereby we engage young children in project-based initiatives to take care of the environment and come up with eco spaces within their own schools. During our prototyping phase, we decided to approach it through a rapid prototype approach. And through this, we're able to build our idea and test it with our community very fast. We identified a local public school within our community that we can use during our prototype phase. We came up with questions, ideally, to understand if what we saw was the problem in society was the same thing that the community would see. We approached a local public school called Getoro Primary School. We had a meeting with their school board, their school administration, some of the students themselves. During this meeting, we came up with interview questions to ask them in terms of what they feel about the environment and what are some of the opportunities that we can come up with through a strategic partnership. Part of the feedback that we got from this was, number one, there seemed to be a lack of interest within the kids in understanding what the environment is and how to approach it. Number two, they lacked training resources and training materials to fully implement and educate their young children about these initiatives. Number three, they also did not know how to fully communicate with these children to ensure that they spark an interest towards environmental conservation. The feedback that we got from our interview meeting, we were able to come up with a storyboard and create some of the steps we would consider in coming up with our prototype. Step one, we realized we need to come up with a training session that will give theory about environmental conservation. Step two, we realized we have to come up with a creative activity that would have the kids engaged in climate sessions. And number three, we realized we have to come up with a greening initiative so that they can match the theory they've learned with a greening activity that they will do within their own community and schools. We now are able to come up with an activity called the plant and paint activity that we tested out within this school. With this project, we're able to engage about 100 kids in a plant and paint session that saw them through a training session, painting session, where they would express themselves creatively about what they understand a good environment is and what a bad environment is. From this project, we're able to see some of the findings, which are, number one, there seemed to be a mismatch between the young children's responsibility and understanding where exactly they fit in when it comes to environment conservation. Number two, there also seemed to be a lack of education and knowledge within the trainers themselves, thus making them not be able to deliver such content to the young children. Number three, there also seemed to be a lack of interest within the young children themselves. The approach towards this finding was not like we need to set up an environmental club within this local public school to take part in engaging a few students through environmental conservation and trainings. This Kijani Club set within this school was able to attract at least 45 students who became eco-champions within this school. We now moved on to stage 2, where we came up with an eco-space within this school to ensure that the children get a learning and class setup where they can implement some of the trainings we're teaching them. Act as the learning setup where we're able to teach concepts with water conservation, upcycling, waste management, irrigation, and agroforestry. One of the initiatives within this eco-space is to ensure that children understand that farming, agriculture, urbanization, plastic, and all of these activities have a certain effort towards climate change, and that they themselves can play an active role in complementing positive climate attitudes. We got the opportunity to seek partnership with Ministry of Agriculture, and they gave us a chance to exhibit one of our concepts and initiatives during the county agriculture show. During this exhibition, we were able to attract almost 300 students from various schools. We are currently in one school serving 40 children who are our eco-champions, and a maximum of 300 children within the whole school. We believe this partnership will enable us to now extend our impact to even 3 more local public schools within our community. We believe that such a partnership with the IFRC Limitless program will enable us to push our impact to even more schools.